All right, we're back with some more Stanley Parable. I'm very excited for this. I've been looking forward to this all day. And I just booted up the game. I was going to start this in the main menu like I usually would, but it did the thing where it asks you for the time of day or whatever. Right now it is 2:16 in the morning. Well, yeah, at night. Uh, and it's Friday, July 14th, 2023. So, anyways, this popped up. I'm gonna wait for Gabriel to get back so that he can see everything because he will be joining us again tonight. So, whew. What to talk about? What to talk about? I should probably actually. I don't know how long he's gonna be. I probably should just start playing. I might actually do that. I'll wait for a minute. If he doesn't get back, I'll start playing. But so yeah, I got stung today in the eye by a wasp, like right in my left eye, like all the way in that shit. It actually hit my eyelid. It didn't make direct contact with my eye, thankfully. It was just the lid, but he was a big motherfucker. He was a big angry motherfucker too. Like, oh my goodness, it hurts so fucking much. And then of course, like it swelled up really bad, and you could actually see like my eyelid was actually bleeding. That's how like he actually pierced like straight through my eyelid, and my eye watered super bad, and yeah, happened right before a thunderstorm too. So then that happened, and then like a gigantic thunderstorm rolled through, and it was just such a stressful situation. Honestly, I was out when it happened, so I was like in the car during a thunderstorm. Like the rain was crazy, like you could barely see anything on the highway, and one of my fucking eyes was just out of commission, and it was crazy, man. But got home, ran some cold water over it, took some ibuprofen, uh, and I laid down for a couple hours, and now I pretty much feel all better, no problems. So I think it's amazing that the human body can like withstand something like that, and a couple hours later, like I still feel my eye feels a little sore, but I can totally see out of it perfectly fine. My eyelid, when it happened, my actual eyelid was like totally swollen, so I really couldn't see out of my left eye at all. And now it looks pretty much totally normal. Only a few hours later, it's like nothing ever happened. Pretty epic. All right, I'm gonna start
Who are you talking to?
the stream. I wanted to fill the air while you were gone, so just told the story of what happened today with my eye and stuff.
Who do
Anyways,
you think you're talking to right
nobody,
Sorry.
man, nobody. It wants me to click with my mouse, so I guess I'll do that.
Hang on.
Before we get started, can I just say something? Oh, wow,
Ha.
that's wow, wow, wow. Dude, literally me and you if we made a game, you know what I'm saying? This is literally us. Oh my god. Honestly, this game, just for that, this game is a 10 out of 10 for me. Just for that. Literally just for that. Man, wow. Dude, stop. I'm like, like he's already dead. you know?
Yeah, bro is blushing.
I really am, dude. Oh man, that's amazing. yeah. Dude.
You should do 9/11.
I wonder what would happen if I did 9/11. Oh wow.
Or 420.
Dude, that was absolutely amazing. That's like That's already in my top 10 favorite video game moments of all time. That reminds me a lot of the part of Detroit Become Human whenever the menu girl for that game asks if she can be set free. You know?
Yeah.
That's like this. That's like a similar thing. I still feel bad that you can't see the mouse on the screen though. Like, it's just how could you mess that up? You know? That was amazing. I'm already like, I'm so glad that I streamed that. You know? And I didn't just like.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number
that's from last night. You
427's
didn't see what
job
happened.
was simple. He sat at his desk
Bro has to
in
catch
room
up on the lore.
427, and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a
I
monitor.
remember I saw you
desk,
test if
telling him
resetting
what
the game would
buttons to
actually
push,
reset you.
how long to push them, and in what order.
Yeah.
This is what employee
That was
427 did every day of every month of every year. And
You should
although
really like
others
put
might
your
have
mic closer to your
considered it
mouth.
soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders
What?
I'm
Can you hear
bad.
me chewing?
made exactly.
No. Like I'm just saying because you're really quiet.
Oh, it's because I had.
really loud.
Yeah, because I'm eating.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
My bad.
Something he would never quite
fuck.
forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour
My bad.
when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Quit the game and start it again. I already feel like just because of that one thing with the clock, like that moment, I already feel like I got my money's worth for this game. Like I paid like $12 for this. That honestly, that one moment alone was worth it for me.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I want to try and see if I can get the other office to spawn in this time. Now that when I got the, I have to screen. Did I already screenshot this? I think I did already screenshot this. That just is such an iconic fucking thing. So last time I played, you remember when I got the other, like the green office with the Night Shark passcode or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you?
When Stanley came to a set
Is
of
that a
two open
new
doors,
content or was that
he
in the
entered
original?
the door on his left.
I don't know. I think it was in the original.
I don't know. I feel like the new content being to the right. I feel like that is a fake out. Like I feel
Yet
like
there
there's
was
new
not a
content
single
everywhere.
person here either.
But I could be wrong about
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase,
All right.
Stanley
Basketball
walked
plus
upstairs
video
to
game
his
controller
boss's
equals good.
office.
Just send me a message.
that. Oh, by the way, last night, you know how like they took away the executive bathroom? It's here now. You can just go
I
in.
saw that.
Oh God,
I
I was
saw
so happy about that.
I know. Bro said, how could they do this to me? Oh my god.
All right, I don't think I got the normal ending in this. I really want to get the green office. Oh, by the way, sometimes this door is open. Oh, what? You can see through it. Interesting. Okay, so
I also saw that door open.
I guess
There was
since we
something
came-
in there that you
Stepping into his
missed.
manager's office, Stanley was once again
What is the
stunned
passcode?
to discover not an indication of any
2845.
human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
I don't think I've actually completed the game in this game properly yet. So the world needs more games like this, you know? Oh. So this time I'm gonna try to go to the ending, and I'm gonna not
Descending
set
deeper into
myself
the
free.
building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I really can't wait to show this game to my parents, though. I feel like they're gonna
Stanley
love this.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read
I did
Mind
this the
Control
other night.
Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
My bad.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's
Oh, that's actually my
co-workers.
office, you know.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Why is that one still on up there, you know?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
No way.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
So, is there actually like something to do with the numbers, like the 1, 2. So you got 1 and 2. And then 3 is over there, so 3, 5, 4, but there's still no 0. Yeah. Wait, what was the code? 2845? Is that the code to open the door? Gabriel?
Correct.
2845.
Yeah, so where's the 8?
Yeah, true. Doot, doot. It's my favorite. Imagine watching like Into the Spider-Verse of this bad boy. Holy shit.
You should click the opposite of what you did last time.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power,
That's what I'm
he
doing.
knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
Are you just trying to die?
What's that? You'd like to know where
No,
your
I actually don't know what to
co-workers
do.
are? A moment of solace
there are
before you're
numbers.
obliterated. All right,
There are
I'm in a
buttons to
good
press.
mood. You're going to die
With
anyway. I'll
corresponding
tell you
numbers.
exactly what happened to them. I erased them.
I don't
I
understand.
turned off
I
the
don't know how to
machine.
do
I set
this.
you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing.
How am I supposed to figure out
Watching
what
you
to
try
do?
to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me,
I'm so stupid, you know?
every second of your inevitable life
No!
from the moment you fade in until the moment I say,
I tried.
"You're up."
I tried. That was the last thing I could think to do, you know? Is there actually a way to beat that? Because I really could not figure it out. I'm not good with that kind of stuff. Just tell
All
me.
his co-workers were gone.
I'm gonna look it up
What
one
could
way or
it
the
mean?
other because I'm not just gonna keep
Stanley
trying that
decided to
over
go
and
to
over
the
if I
meeting
can't
room.
get it, you know?
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, I know what I want to do this time.
When Stanley came
That was
to a set of
really
2 open
interesting,
books,
to be
this was
honest.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone... Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for... Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with
I love
your
how
surroundings.
disrespectful
Does
it
that
is for me
sound
just
good?
to be doing
Think we can
circles
do
while
that?
he's
Yes?
talking.
Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been
So
working
no matter
on,
what you
and
choose
now
right
would be a
there,
lovely opportunity to give it
just
some
has
play testing.
he has this
You wouldn't
dialogue.
mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Is there a way you can trick your system into
In this
thinking
game,
the time is
the
later
baby
than it
crawls
is?
left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here?
Or I wanted to get the screenshot.
No, I was trying to get the one
Yes,
where he puts
this
me in the
seems
room
like
with the
it'll
phone
work.
ringing, but I
Let's
think
give
I
it
did
a
it
shot.
wrong.
You did.
How do you do that? How are you supposed
You
to do
just
that?
don't jump.
Oh. So that's where I went wrong, okay. Okay.
Oh, no,
Fascinating.
shot.
What do you think this game is about, Stanley?
Dude,
What's
I
our
didn't know this could
backstory? What is
happen.
our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted
This is
erotic
amazing,
purpose.
dude.
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity.
Is this new?
So far, I love everything
It has to be,
about
because
this, game,
this
Stanley.
came out
And
recently.
it seems
This is
there's even
new.
more. Come,
See, I
let's
told you the
venture
new
outward
content
and
was
see
a
what else is
false
out
thing.
there.
Why did that have a Minecraft opening noise? cutscenes. I have to play this game at some point. This is beautiful. I'd love to live in a place like this.
Heaven is a place on earth.
No, it can't be.
Wow. I'm actually mesmerized by this environment.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any...
Bro's coming.
Thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Dude.
Literally
See, this
magic.
is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around
They're gonna
in.
give you a
There
car
isn't
to
any
drive.
possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh, they made me run faster. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah.
They didn't have
Are
the
you doing
explosion
it?
thing.
Are you winning?
Yeah, I
Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought.
I have a plan.
And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for a... Hold on. What are you doing?
Okay.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
So that's the same thing as the falling through the thing in Portal. Interesting. Oh, wow. Well.
Literally the back rooms.
Yeah.
And by that I mean the one that we made.
I hate this hallway. This hallway gives me so much anxiety. I don't know what it is. They should make this game for VR, you know. Playing the Stanley Parable in VR would just be like absolutely incredible. This is like the perfect VR game. Isn't this supposed to be based on something? This looks familiar for some reason.
Where's this? Go to that door right there. Behind you. Yeah.
This?
Alright, turn around. Nope, turn around.
Well, yeah, but is this is not the actual, like, because the lounge isn't here, right? It's just a recreation of it. But this looks familiar, like this wall texture. Something about this place looks familiar to me. But I don't know exactly how to describe it.
I think this
It
is
looks familiar.
actually based off of like what they were originally gonna have the walls be.
Interesting. That looks like Soma. If you just pause on this frame, that looks so much like Soma.
Sugma.
This place, man. I wish I didn't do the thing. I wish I just actually listened to him and played with him for a while. I want to try that again and actually like play. I almost said Roblox. Play Rocket League with him.
I wonder what he found.
Indeed.
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion.
So you're not
That's
supposed
who
to
I
jump
am.
to get that ending.
That is what I mean
The
to
one that I
this
was going for.
world. Oh,
Got it.
yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way.
I forgot.
Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So we're gonna try to get that ending now. Well, actually,
When
yeah.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So I want to get a picture of this. I want to just like grab a picture of this and then take a picture in the original to see the difference, because I feel like this looks different in this version of the game, but I could be wrong about that.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else...
I want to figure out what
difficult,
happens if I jump
but
off.
the fact is that the story is... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay. I just had to know. You know?
All of his co-workers
I had
were
to know
gone.
what it did.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Trolled.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop
That's
by
like the worst
employee
ending in the
lounge
whole
first,
game, is
just
to
to
get the
admire it.
jumping off the platform
The
ending.
lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
What if you actually
Stanley
fell
was
off the
so
platform
bad
by
at following
accident?
directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
There's a vent
someone
right
you've been
there.
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Wonder if you can get in that somehow.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
So that, yeah, okay.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Interesting.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Can move now?
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
MB. Ugh. Ugh.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. 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 Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Please press Y.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
Look around.
And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
All right, fine.
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Interesting.
Bro literally said kill yourself.
All of his co-workers
He
were
really
gone.
did.
What could it mean?
And he did.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm going to gonna hop off.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Yep, I'm gonna go play.
When
Death
Stanley
Stranding for
came
bit,
to a
then
set
go
of
to bed.
2 open
Yeah,
doors,
that's
he
what I'm
entered the
saying.
door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room,
All right,
and
goodbye.
Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley but eager to get back to
Standing
business,
now in this
Stanley took the
incredible room.
first open door on his left.
All right, so what do we want to do? Oh, that's cool. That's a cool screenshot. So, I don't want to do the same thing again.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I don't think we've done much with the going down the
Yet
stairs.
there was not a
part of
single
this.
person here either.
I think I'll try that this
Feeling
time.
a wave of disbelief,
I'll
Stanley
go upstairs
decided
to check
go
out the
up
office
to
is
his coming to a
different.
staircase.
Or if it's
Stanley
different.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, no. Oh, no. Can I not go back? Ah, fuck. Alright, I'm gonna restart. So you cannot go
All of his co-workers were
back
gone.
once you go to the
What
office.
could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Interesting. Ah, it's so weird when this is different. Alright.
When Stanley came to a set of two
Oh
open
wait, this
doors,
means that
he
the
entered
office
the
will be
door on
different
his
though,
left.
right? Alright, we gotta test this. We gotta test this theory. Does this mean that the office is the green one now? Because
Yet
that
there
was
was
different.
not a single person here either.
Alright.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, that's clutch. Okay, so it doesn't change. So just because that one is different doesn't mean it's different. Okay, good. We know now. Ooh. Oh, I wish I could read that. I'm so close to being able to read that, but the handwriting isn't that good. You can read it though. I'm gonna screenshot this. I'm gonna screenshot this and zoom it in later and see if I can actually read it properly. That's cool.
But Stanley just couldn't
Okay.
do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
I bet he says that. I want to see if he would say that, because if I don't keep running through those rooms, if I just stay in one spot, I wanted to see if the dialogue would change, but it didn't. Okay, so that's what happens when you go downstairs then.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, let's try new content this time.
Good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Great. On God. I wonder how difficult it actually is to get every image. I wonder if the new content will be different this time, because it's been different every time so far.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay. So that does take us back here. Good.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Bucket time.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for
dialogue
me
skip
than
button?
actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Thank you so much.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Right.
I think that just holding it has made you the
I just wanted to get the
slightest bit
bucket in
more
case it's
attractive as a
in case
person.
it's important for something.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Excellent. Alright, let's find the exit now.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be
I
an
wonder if my
award it
jumps are
isn't
back now or
already.
if it stays. Yep, there. No? Alright. Think. Yeah, okay, the exit's this way.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2. Now that... All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yep. Oh, dude, this is... Wow. I don't even know what to say about this. I don't think in my entire life I've ever seen a room that is so simultaneously like nostalgic and out of this world at the same time. Like I feel like I relate to this room so much, but at the same time I've never seen anything like it. That is such a strange feeling.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Interesting. Yeah, this is pretty good. Gotta say, I'm a fan. All my settings are the same. Alright. Is it gonna stay like this forever now? Oh wait, they have a Discord? Cool. Alright.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
So does that actually change anything? Is it different
Employee
now?
number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley...
That's my first time ever skipping that. I don't know if it's going to change anything.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh. Do we take the bucket with us?
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is different. And there's no new content this time. Looks like we've completed it.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I think we should follow him this time, do the normal ending, and see if it's different now with the bucket. Maybe the bucket is the key to making the ending different.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Alright.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
Oh no.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Nice. Should have hidden it back. Should have hidden it back there. That would have been a better spot, honestly. My personal opinion. So now we gotta get the quote unquote good ending with the bucket. I think that's gonna be the strat for this one.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
I'm just curious if we'll have any new dialogue for the bucket on this.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Okay, so it does change. So there's like new dialogue for everything, probably, then, with the bucket.
But of course, Stanley and the bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Oops. Always
The
forget that.
monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
The bucket looks so,
The bucket had never seen anything like this.
It looks so
and
cute
it
in
very
the
nearly
sliding.
burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
I love the bucket.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's
Can I
control.
take the bucket with
Never!
me in other
He
games?
squeezed the bucket tighter.
In that
His one
part? I bet I
friend in the
could.
entire world. At this
I would
point,
love to
he
play
could trust
Firewatch,
no one
the bucket.
except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Nice.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part
No
with the
way.
bucket. No.
No.
Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms, not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Literally the ending of Soma, dude. Literally the ending of Soma. Wow. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Well, I guess we're getting
Stanley
all the
decided
bucket
to go
endings.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Meeting room.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
They all say the end is never the end is never the end.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Is he gonna say anything if I stay in here super long with the bucket?
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
That's what I'm saying. I think I want to drink it in. Oh, look at that. That's a screenshot.
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
They have like invisible steps. You see that? Boom, 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 boom.
Stanley decided
But
to
they're
just
here.
give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Everything has changed with the bucket, dude. That's so good. Oh my god, that's so good. Does it have it on this as well? Boom, boom. Yeah, it does. Wonder if there were stairs here in like the beta version. But they decided that it didn't look right, so they removed it. Yeah, I think that's all the dialogue. Oh, I still can't read that. Alright, I think we found all the dialogue.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
Alright. Oh, you know, we should try the bucket in the broom closet, but first I want to try this again.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket.
Oh.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there
I knew
need
that
you
vent
to
looked
do.
suspicious. I literally
Stanley
said
did not
that.
question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
So he blames everything that I do on the bucket.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly. Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Interesting.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
Oh.
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Huh. I played the demo. Oh, I love it. This is a beautiful home. I love it. Got the plant, got the coffee table. Living room leaves a little to be desired, I'll be honest. Oh no, this is the living room. Okay, yeah. This is very pleasant. Me personally, this is a weird place to put the living room. Me personally, I'd have the living room like in this corner or something, and have this chair over here like that. You know? Why would you put the living room here?
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. His stupid hunk of metal.
This place is even more beautiful at night. What if I wait here? I'm gonna wait here and see what happens. So I gotta press square. What if I wait? What if I don't? Is that a bucket? Okay. Oh, I love this game. I would love to have a house like this. Like just this simple. Oh, look at the lighting, dude. I fucking love the lighting so much in this game, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, look at that. It's like blue and then green. Blue, green, blue, green. That's phenomenal. And it even has like the shadow from each of those casting like a... Actually, does that make sense? Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. Because this would be a dark blue shadow, not a yellow shadow, because it's not coming from that, right? But the split looks so satisfying. God, I love shadows. Well, nothing is happening, so I guess I just gotta keep going.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Where's the bucket? Hello? Am I blind? Where's the bucket? Oh, on top of the computer.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
I can't do it. I have to zoom in the FOV more.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Can I not leave the office? I like how it closes you in more and more every time, you know? Go home, to work, to home, to work, to home, yeah.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Oh my God. Oh. I've got to get like a perfect screenshot of this. Hold on. Like right. No, it has to be like just looking in the doorway like that. I'm getting a screenshot of that. That is fucking amazing.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Wow. Oh my God. Alright, well we got a different one this time. That was very interesting, actually.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, this is so weird. I don't think I've ever seen this one before. This is new. I'm not taking the bucket this time. Ah. And then straight to the 2 doors, huh?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human.
Wow. Is there new dialogue for this now? I never heard that one before.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I know what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to disobey him and then take the blue door.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
But I got to get the collectible. Huh. Alright.
Another miniature Stanley figurine.
Nice.
This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Nice. Alright. So, where does the vent go to? Aww. No, what is that? What the hell? I gotta remember next time I start the game, I gotta make the time 9:11. I can't forget that. I don't like this place.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the... You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Alright. That one was interesting.
How long was he sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
So
left.
now we're going to disobey until the blue door and then listen to him.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies.
Figlies!
What name better encapsulates the
Please,
intrinsic
Figlies.
sense of
Please,
happiness
Figlies.
that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Figlies. I'm calling them figlies. Oh my goodness, absolutely.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, he says it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, I meant red.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you do. That's actually good though, because then we can make a choice here.
What
No?
do we want? What are we looking for?
I really got trolled. I really thought they were gonna pull that, and then they didn't. Oh, I remember this.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
That is rather mesmerizing, to be honest. I wasn't expecting... This would be crazy in VR. I wasn't expecting something on flat screen to be able to be this mesmerizing, but it really is. This whole game is so plain looking and so, like... I wouldn't say bland, but it's very plain looking. So you spend all that time looking at that, and then you go to this, and it's like... culture shock. Whoa. Wonder what happens if you stay in this forever. I kind of like it here. This is actually nice. I like this. Like, genuinely, I like this. What? Oh, did I move? I scared myself with my own footstep.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Do you want me to go back?
Right. Where were we?
Okay, kill yourself. Trolled.
Oh no! Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
This is a rather dangerous staircase.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Interesting. So, am I just stuck here forever then? Huh.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Well, this one's really cool. I love this. Oh, yes. Can I, like, walk off the edge? I can't. Wait. That's relative to my positioning. It's all relative to my positioning. Oh, that's weird. I really do like this, though. I really do like this. Like, I actually could stay here forever, I think. If it kept changing every time and I saw something new, yeah, I could stay here. This is nice. Now it's back to these. See, that's what I mean. See, like, if it was different, yeah, I'd stay and see all the... Ooh, that's weird. But yeah, if it was different every time, I would stay to see it. But it's not different. It goes back to the same old stuff. Alright, time to kill myself.
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here. You heard me before, didn't you? You will die! What about this isn't getting through to you?
Is there extra dialogue if I go up to the top and go back down again? I have to see. I'm sorry, I just have to see. I just have to know how far this actually goes. I'm just literally edging him so bad right now. Get absolutely fucking edged.
Are you... You are going to stay here, aren't you?
Teehee. Yeah, I think he's done now. Well, this ending is really fucked up, actually. Alright.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
He said we have to stop moving, so if I stand here and don't... I'm just going to sit here, and I'm not going to touch the controller or anything for a few minutes. I'm just going to just sit here and see if it does something. If it doesn't do something, then I'm going to kill myself. For sure I'm going to kill myself if it doesn't do something. Just give it a few minutes. I wonder what happens if you just leave this running for like a week. This is actually the best part of the game to play before going to bed, you know, because it's like so relaxing. It actually is. The music and the visuals and everything, it's just... I always thought it would be cool to have like, you know, have like a deep conversation with somebody, like a one-on-one deep conversation, somebody you're really close to with, right? Like somebody who you really, somebody you would have that type of conversation with, and to have that in like a really cool VR chat place, you know what I mean? Like be like in a room like this, but with like a really comfortable sofa or something. Have like your living room be where your VR is set up, and have like full body tracking, and line up a couch, like place a couch texture that's lined up with your actual real life couch. You know what I mean? And sit there and have two... Dude, that would be even cooler if you were in person. You were like literally in person with the person you're talking to, but you were in VR chat in the same room with a virtual couch that matches the mold of your actual couch. Like you could scan it, and you would just be sitting there in that room with them talking, but you would have all of the visual aspect be in VR. And you could choose like any place to be. Like you could be on some mountain somewhere out in like the West Coast, or you know, like Yosemite or something, or you could be in like a flying like spaceship living room type of thing, you know? It could be so many different... You could do literally anything. You could be like up in the clouds, you know? It could be anywhere, anything at all. But it's your room, it's your couch, you know, and you're there. That would be so amazing. Imagine all like the fun you could have with something. I got places to be, buddy. Sorry to
No.
burst your
No,
bubble.
no, what are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Can't stay there forever, bub. You gotta move on at some point. If there's nowhere to go, you know. 360 no scope.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
Oh my
Can
god,
you
it
do
takes
that for me?
it takes 3. Oh, I'm walking so slow now. It takes 3 to kill him. Oh my god, that's
Yes. Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
This is actually different. Is this different? This looks different.
I know you'll see. You'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Yeah, I can see that. But at the same time, man, nothing is going to change. It's all going to stay the same. If you don't leave, it's going to stay the same no matter what. And now there's not even like a cool roof texture going on.
No, perhaps not.
I'm just edging him, dude. I'm just edging him so bad. Alright, this is the one for sure. I mean, I can't walk any slower than this.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
This sucks, dude. This really sucks, you know? I fucking don't like this, man. You're making me feel bad. You're putting me in an infinite nothingness, and you're making me feel bad for wanting to avoid that. You know? That is incredibly fucked up.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
I don't know, dude. I don't know anymore. Because what am I supposed to do? Just stay here forever?
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I still thought that was possible.
Well, I feel torn now. I feel torn because I can't do this. You know? I can't do this. I can't do it. I really can't do it. I feel so bad. He sounded so sad. I can't do it to him. But if I stay here, nothing will happen, right? It'll just be nothing forever. Like if I left my PC on right in this moment, right in this room, just like this for a week, would something happen? Would the story advance? How long do you have to wait? I don't even know. I'm gonna have to go find out what actually happens in the Stanley Parable. Once I've played it enough, I'm gonna go look and see if something different happens. There has to be like a specific ending where if you sat in this room for 5 years, something would change. You know what I mean? Tell you what, I'm going to leave the stream running and my PC running in this spot, and I'm gonna go away for an undetermined amount of time. And if when I come back nothing has changed, I will jump off of the staircase. So I guess only time will tell. Alright. Well, it would appear that nothing has happened. So, I think you know what we gotta do now. I could have left it on all night, you know. I thought about it. I honestly thought about it, just leaving it on, you know, but I gotta see what happens. Even if it's nothing. Doesn't have anything to say this time, huh? It's just excruciating. This game is, like, so fucked. It's so fucked. Honestly, one of the most fucked up games I've ever played in my life. Tally-ho.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Oh, wow. Oh! Oh, and it keeps my my menu. The sequel is now paused. There it is. It even has new noises and sound effects. Quit to menu. Will it stay like this forever? Or next time I restart, will it just change back? I wonder. Well, that was this playthrough session of the Stanley Parable 2. Or as I called it, what was it? Stanable 3, I think is what I called it. So yeah, if anybody ever watches and gets to this point, I'm sure that's not going to happen. But if it did happen, congratulations, I guess. And yeah, I will probably be back again soon with more, because I want to continue playing this game, obviously. So until then.